Welcome. In this video we're going to look at a few tools real quick. The shell tool and then like a thicken and offset. The shell tool is basically a way to scoop out material and leave behind a shell, just a thin layer or some specified thickness. So I'm in 3D mode and I've got my object and it's just a shape I created. Um, The underside here is what I'm going to scoop out. I want to leave it hollow. It's kind of, this is a shape that kind of looks like the Automoblox windshield for the T9 truck. So all you do is choose shell. All right. Oh, let me close that. Let me hit escape a couple times. Something was already selected, so it's going to make you think you don't have to do something. All right, let me hit it again. Shell. All right, it should be asking me to select a face. It says select surfaces to remove. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to kind of move around here so I can see the underside, and I'm going to click that face. There you go, and now I'm getting a preview of a shell, but I can change the thickness. Let's make it even smaller, 0.05, and you can see how this wall thickness is changing, and that's what you're specifying as the wall thickness to be left behind by the shell. So, and I'll just accept that, and there you go. That's the shell tool. So that's a way to hollow out a part. Okay, so in manufacturing, you may structurally have what you need and realize that we don't need it to be solid infill, but we can go through and kind of shell out, hollow out certain areas, and that saves material and saves weight and can have a lot of advantages. Just might be faster to produce, cheaper to produce, that kind of stuff. Okay, so let me show you one other tool. It's right along the same lines, and it's right here under Modify as well. We're in the Modify panel. We can thicken or offset. This adds material instead of taking away. So, or it can take away here. It adds or removes thickness to faces. So let's try turning that on and see what happens. All right, right now it wants me to select, and I can see down here a face. So let's just hover and see. Okay, I can choose all these surfaces. Let's choose one. Okay, it's giving me a box. Basically, it took the profile of that surface and is showing that it would um, that it can add that. Let's change that dimension. You can see that I'm getting a preview that the thickness there, that distance, is how much would get added. Let's try choosing some of these curved surfaces. Okay, so I'm going to go back to selecting, and I'll choose that. There you go. Look at that. It's creating the geometry to kind of offset and follow around. How about the fillets? Okay, it looks like it's just going to rebuild it, right? So we'll choose all of them. Maybe let's leave that side off just to show one side versus the other. Let's hit apply. Interestingly, it applied those without me even doing anything, didn't it? That's very interesting. That could be because of the shell, but that's kind of how I learn. I start trying things, and instead of doing the obvious, um, I'll just try something different and see what happens. So I could edit the feature. Those weren't selected, but there was some reason why Inventor went ahead and offset thickened these areas as if I had selected that. Okay, I wonder if it would have anything to do with the shell. Okay, but that's where I would just try it and play around and test it, test my theories, and maybe jump on Google and look under a forum, do a search and look in some forums and see if people are discussing exactly what I just observed. And I might learn something new. So anyway, play around with those tools. You've got the shell tool right here in the modify panel was the first one, and then the thicken or offset tool.